Hi, welcome to Amerika TV. Before we begin today's program, I would like to remind all of our visitors to always wash your hands carefully and to help flatten the curve of the COVID-19. Welcome to Amerika TV. Amerika is the U.S. Embassy's American Center here in Jakarta, Indonesia, and for now we have completely moved to a digital platform. You are currently watching one of our online programs titled Your 5 Steps to Study in the United States. If you are planning to get a degree in the United States, you should definitely be watching this program. And if you're staying tuned till the end, we are also going to have a social media quiz with the question of name 2 out of 8 Ivy League campuses. And you can comment your answer on our Facebook Live. And we are going to host this event with our Education USA advisor, Fina Alatas. But before that, we will be back after this very short announcement.
Hi everyone, I'm Fina, one of the advisors for EducationUSA here in Amerika, who is ready to help you with your study plan in the United States. We can help you with many things, and here are some of the services that we provide for you guys. And how can you get access to any of this? Very easy. Simply email us to jakarta.atamerika@educationusa.org. We look forward to it.
Hi, welcome back. And now we are joined with our Education USA advisor, Fina Alatas, who will be ready to explain to you the 5 steps to study in the United States. I will give the floor to Fina.
All right, thank you so much, Anton. Hello, everyone. I'm Fina. I'm one of the Education USA advisors for Amerika here. This is my first time doing this, so exciting, but kind of like weird as well, because usually I'm on a stage with a lot of people in front of me, but then now I'm actually looking at you guys. Well, I mean, I can't look at you, but I'm looking at the camera. But I would just say hi to everyone watching us online right now. In fact, in Zoom, we actually have 25 attendees already. Hello, guys. Thank you for tuning in. But I also believe that some of you also watch us through Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, a lot of platform. If you have any questions on that platform, please leave some comments. We already have a team here who will have the questions ready. And for those of you who are already in Zoom and you have some questions, go ahead, go to the Q&A room, and then I will try to, we'll start the Q&A session after my presentation. All right, so let's just start. I will start share screen my presentation. Okay, hopefully you guys can see it. All right. Okay, so if this is your first time kind of like watching this session and wondering what is Education USA, right? I'll give you a short presentation introducing you what Education USA is. So basically we are part of the Department of State Network, atau di Indonesia kita bilangnya dari Kementerian Luar Negeri. Okay, we have pretty much like 400 international student advising centers in more than 170 countries. So we're actually everywhere, right? So I actually have a lot of colleagues, friends who are, they are the advisors for Education USA all over the world. So what we do here is to basically assist everyone who wants to study in the US for bachelor's, US higher education. for from bachelor's, master's, or PhD. Atau kita di Indonesia bilangnya S1, S2, S3. Alright? And all of our services are free of charge. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it is true because basically our main goal is for you guys to study in your dream university. Okay, so in Indonesia, there are 8 centers with 10 advisors. So not only here in Amerika, but in Jakarta, in fact, we have 2 centers, and then we also have 2 in Surabaya, the 2 biggest cities in Indonesia, and then we also have 1 in Medan, Malang, Makassar, and Banda Aceh. So if you have any friends or family members who lives in one of the cities, you can tell them to check out some of the centers. Although currently we are doing every advising sessions digitally, okay? So if you've been to EducationUSA before, you might be familiar with this slide because basically I go over real quick about the 5 steps that the services that we provide here, which is we get the 5 steps, right? But it's really interesting because today I will actually go through each step a bit longer than the usual. So we have research your options, we got moving to the next step, which is financing your studies, and then completing your application, apply for your student visa after you get accepted, and then last but not least, we got the PDO, or pre-departure orientation, my favorite time of the year. All right. If this is your first time tuning in, and then you kind of like, yeah, I would like to hear more about some programs or tips to study in the U.S., tips on essay writing and all that, go ahead to head to EducationUSA website, or of course you can go to Amerika's website as well to see our upcoming events. There are 2 advisors here in Amerika. So again, my name is Vina, and I have my colleague Santika live on Zoom EducationUSA advising room. I will give you the information on that at the end of this session. So after this presentation, basically you can go ahead and chat with me during the break, or you can go ahead and chat with Santika for further information about studying in the US. But here in Amerika, we always open every day. Because there are 2 advisors standing by. So we start from 1 until 9 p.m., except on the Saturday, we start from 10 a.m. until 9 p.m. But then again, I would like to let you guys know currently we are doing everything virtually. So you basically can contact me or Santika via email. We also on Skype, and of course, we are also on Zoom. So it's very exciting. Tonight, don't forget, so I basically have this presentation today for an hour, and then we're going to take 2 hours break. It's a long break. But then at 6, my favorite time is actually our monthly event. And this is my first time giving this presentation basically like via online, 100%. But usually I would give a presentation every single month on how to write an essay or statement of purpose if you are want to study for master's and PhD. All right, so make sure you can stay tuned on that as well. And so let's go ahead, right? So there are 5 steps for you to start if you want to study in the U.S. And we are basically here. EducationUSA is here. Even though you're not living you don't live in Jakarta, you don't live in Indonesia, like I mentioned earlier, there are so many EducationUSA centers all over the world. You just simply go to EducationUSA website and check out our other center. All right, so let's start with step 1, research your options. I know it sounds very basic, but then there are actually a lot of things that you can actually do with this step, right? So first of all, I would like to give you the information about deciding the right program, okay? What does that mean? So technically, I crossed that out if you are still in high school and you want to do bachelor's degree. Why? It's actually good news because you can actually apply as an undecided major. So what does that mean actually? So if you don't know what you want to do, I know it's something that is not really familiar here in Indonesia, right? So like maybe some of you kind of like start thinking, how is it possible that I can go to university without knowing my major? It's actually really possible if you want to do that in the US, right? So technically you can apply as an undecided major, and it's very, very common in the US for Americans to do that as well. For example, maybe for now you want to do business major, but then within 2 years of your study, you want to kind of like, you know what? I just realized that I like art and I want to do art. Then you can actually go ahead and do that, right? You're allowed to be with no major or change major for the first 2 years, right? So in the US for bachelor's degree, in terms of the timing, the length of study is pretty much similar to Indonesia. We got 4 years. So for the first 2 years, you are more than welcome to actually keep changing your major. For master's degree and PhD, however, you have to know what major you want to do. It's a must, okay? And maybe now you're kind of like, oh, really? I'm still deciding if I want to do MBA or data science. If that is the case, then take your time. You don't have to apply now because that means you're basically just not ready to apply yet. So come to EdAmerica. We actually have a lot of programs where we are inviting alumni, talking on a specific program. In fact, we also have US Alumni Fair last year, and hopefully we can also do the same this year. So this is basically like a really great timing for you guys to actually explore different programs, right? But now you know that if you want to do master's or PhD, you need to know exactly the program that you want to do. So similar, right? So if you're kind of like unsure, what do you want to pursue master's degree for, or you can't really answer at the moment on what you want to be or what you want to do in the next 3 to 5 years, we can fairly say maybe you're not ready to apply yet, right? And I'll tell you why. It's because, and you'll understand as I go on, right? As we go to the step 3, completing your application, you will realize on how many application requirements required if you're going to study in the US. And so it will kind of like defeat the whole thing if you kind of like, you need to do like GRE, there are so many things. You need to really pay attention on your essay and all that. But then at the same time, you don't really know what you want to do. It will be really hard for you to kind of like moving forward, because then there are so many things that we want to kind of like address what you want to do in the future in the essay, for example, or in your, in the essay or statement of purpose, all right? So let me start with this. First thing first, how many universities that you can actually apply in the US, right? Throw out a number. Probably now you're thinking 5, 7, 15, 20, right? Actually, you can actually apply as many as you want. You can actually apply as many as you want. And then now the next question is, how many colleges and universities are there in the US, right? Now I know that I can apply as many as I want, but how many are there? Surprisingly, there are actually over 4,000 universities and colleges in the US. So what does that mean, right? Here, the idea is to create a balance of category of schools. The one that we like to use is dream schools, target schools, and safety schools. This is basically like the key to successful college application. So I'll go real quick talking about like each category of schools. So we can start with dream schools. It's basically the schools that probably you want to go to, and maybe the only schools that you want to go to. But here, I'm trying to kind of like broaden up the options, right? So dream schools are schools who are basically have less than 10% acceptance rate. Does that mean it's hard to get in? It is. It is really hard to get in. But is it possible? It is very, very possible. Especially if you were here in the past when we invite a lot of alumni from this school. So you will be amazed on how amazing you guys are and being able to get accepted to this school. So yes, it's very, very possible that you can get into these schools. Okay, now let's move to the next category school, which is the target schools. It's schools that we can fairly say